Hello, everybody, and welcome to this audio video review of Sonic the Hedgehog issue 223. Now, I apologize if this wasn't done earlier. The thing is, folks, I didn't get the issue until today. My subscription didn't fully go back in and get reinstated until about a few weeks ago. You see, what happened is that last month I resubscribed, but they originally declined it because there wasn't enough funds on my card. But then the funds were there and they accepted it. So, go figure. But knowing, though, that I may not get 223 possibly until after 224, I decided to go to a website, an online store. Now, you see, I've gone to various online stores. Black Cat Comics in Manteca, California. Mile High Comics in Denver, Colorado. But there's one that stuck out to me. One that allows you to pre-order your issue before it comes out. And that was the comic shop known as Things from Another World. I believe that's the name of it. Things from Another World. Yes. And it's out of Milwaukee, Oregon. That's what it says, folks. Milwaukee, Oregon. And at first, it got declined there, too. But then, I guess since I had the funds come in recently, it was accepted, sent out, and I just got it today. And from what I read from the summaries and spoilers already, I heard it looked like a good issue, and then I read it today, and it looks pretty good. Basically, what's going on as we start this review is that, well, basically, Mina looks like she's going to give an outdoor concert, almost a free outdoor concert. If you will. Almost a free one. Basically, she's given a surprise performance. Now, everybody is there. And basically what's going on is, if you read the preview pages, Sonic and Sally and the Freedom Fighters are staking out a free concert. And Sonic's kind of jokingly saying, well, you know how to plan a second date. And Sally's basically Sally apologizes. She just doesn't want things to go bad the way they did before, which was, she's referring to 221. Now, Mina comes out, says she's glad that everybody could show up for the surprise performance. And she wanted to thank them all again for all the support and to lighten the mood for the city. Basically, she and her band wanted to thank, basically giving this surprise performance to thank the community for the support of the band and to kind of lighten the mood. But then all of a sudden, Jeffrey St. John appears on stage, basically stating, how can we lighten the mood when a computer could turn the city against us any second? And then he goes on to say that the forget-me-nots woke us up. He basically throws his cloak that he's wearing into Mia's face, and he says it's time to act. Now Mina's like, you can't just, and I guess, Mina's upset about this. She's saying, you just can't just do, and he's like, look, you've done your part, love, step back. And all of a sudden, Naugus. And all of a sudden, well, not Naugus, but we hear the Freedom Fighters going, Jeffrey. And they go right after him. And basically you have the Freedom Fighters charging after them, saying, make this easy on yourself. off and surrender. And now Jeffrey's trying to correct himself by saying, I'm in the right of everything I've done, in service as the true king of New Mobotropolis, and suddenly Naugus appears. And now Sally's surprised about this because the last time she saw him, he was Mogul's dueling pet since Eggman got to him, and that was basically with the egg grapes and stuff like that. Now Naugus goes on to say that it's been too long that they have been misled. He's come to reclaim the crown that is rightfully his, and he will save you from this digital menace known as Nicole. And he says, no more will you live in fear of her turning the city against you. Now Nicole appears and says, no, I only turn it against threats like you. Please do not resist any further. But Naugus basically throws this off. Basically breaks free of the hold and everything. And says, there you are, you pesky little AI, running the city's nanites. Such artificial means cannot stand against my crystallized magic. You hold no sway over me. And he goes on to basically preach, do not fear, my people. I will speak to the council of Inkhorn now and bring you all peace and security. And he goes on to tell Jeffrey, keep the rubble off my back. And he says, I will stick to the plan. Don't lecture me, boy. That's basically the conversation they have. So basically we end the 5th page preview with Sally telling Sonic to take Naugus down before he gets to the council. And Sonic jokingly again says, music and a show? You do know how to plan a day, eh? And he basically spins right through Naugus, and he's like, and then he starts to remember, oh yeah, right, you're the master of the elements. And Naugus is like, did you forget so quickly, Quickster? Maybe want to bet I'm faster than you could change? And Sonic tries to speed after him again, but Naugus turns into fire. So basically we're taking basically most of this issue is dealing with the freedom fighters fighting Jeffrey and Sonic trying to stop Naugus. Now Sally, of course, tries to get the Royal Guard to stop Jeffrey, but Jeffrey, I guess, kind of trumps her and all that by saying, hey, you're a princess, I answer only to a king, so that trumps you. And he basically by doing that, he causes the Royal Guard to stop. By telling them he's a commander of the Secret Service, and he's telling them to stand down. Now Sally's trying to argue he's a traitor, arrest him, but he's like, I'm a servant of the king, I'm on top secret business. Now there's a word right there, top secret business. What kind of top secret business are we talking about, folks? Now Sally tries to argue, well, as crown princess, and he said, and then of course, like I said, Jeffrey tells her, well, king trumps the princess. What's that tell you? And she's kind of like, well, Elias didn't authorize this. And then almost in a whisper kind of thing, she's like, Jeffrey's asking her, who said anything about Elias? Get the idea? And then he says, basically tells her that then he basically tells Sally by saying, face it, love, basically telling her that her clubhouse gang will have to get its hands dirty if they want to get past him. And then there's this one little thing. There's one little panel at the end of the page, at the bottom of the page, with Sally looking at with Sally's eyes on it. She said, "Gladly take him." And she is pissed. You can see in that expression of her eyes. So basically, we have Antoine and Bunny going after him first, and they get beat down. Amy tries to go after him. She gets taken out. And Jeffrey calls Amy and Tails. Well, Amy and Tails try to take him out. Tries to distract him. Or basically, whatever. And, Jeffrey, this is what I like. Jeffrey calls Tails and Amy the Junior League, which is kind of funny. But anyway, he thinks that obviously puts Sally's ambush right where he believes it is, but she's not there. And she tells him, she's kind of like on the other side, if you will. And she kind of tells him on the other side of him, and she kind of tells him, you're too smart for your own good, Jeffrey. And then she has Nicole put up like a bubble to kind of contain him. And Jeffrey's like, whoops. And Nicole at first believes that since the commander's skill set does not include crystallized magic, I don't believe he'll be escaping anytime soon. Now Sally thanks her and tells the others to regroup so they can handle the bigger threat. But as soon as she says that, now you see the smoke coming out of the bubble, and she's like, Sally? So they turn around, and Jeffrey's basically teleporting himself out of the bubble. And he says, I do not enjoy doing that. And this kind of shocks everybody, like, you're an Axis? An Axis? You're an Axis? Since when are you an Axis wizard? And this kind of frightens Tails and Amy. Tails is holding on to Amy like, holy shit, kind of deal. But it kind of surprises them, like, you're an Axis? You're an... it's like Sally's lost words. Like, she can't believe... And she's asking him, since when have you been an Axis wizard? And he just tells her that he's full of surprises. So anyway, then we go to the Egg Dome, where Linda is informing Eggman, informing Snively that he will meet him at the zone gates in 10 minutes. And he should be ready. And that he wants Snively and his Eggmobile prepped and ready for launch in that time. Now, when you take a look at Snively on the screen, it looks like he's not really happy or anything. You get what I'm saying? And then Linda comes in. And she basically tells him that everything, all systems are finished online, finished and online. The hull damage has been repaired and we're ready for launch. Providing that his mission actually succeeds. And Eggman's like, oh, it will. And then the real fun begins. So basically we have Sonic following after Naugus back in New Metropolis. And Naugus tries to stop him by putting up a crystallized gate. And this doesn't please Sonic at all. He's like stinking, raspy, ugly, creeping. Now the council, this is what's ironic. The council is like they're kind of just talking over things. They don't even know Naugus is in until he makes his presence known. By telling them that, hey, don't worry, your answer to Nicole is right here. He says, ladies and gentlemen of the Council of Acorn, today we can enact a great justice by giving the crown and the kingdom that are giving me the crown and the kingdom that are rightfully mine. And this kind of catches the council off guard, surprises them. Now we go back to basically the freedom fighters fighting Jeffrey. And Sally's telling all the citizens, get clear, we can handle this. And Jeffrey's saying, no, let them stay. Or are you afraid of them hearing the truth? Now Amy wants to know what truth could come from him. And he's saying, I've always served my king and country. And then he tosses Amy, uses Amy's mallet and tosses her right into Tails. And and Jeffrey's just basically saying, hey, you blokes never